Hey there guys, welcome back to Texas Beer Reviews, and on this episode we will be looking at the Independent from Taft Ale House? Taft Ale House out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So this is a blended barrel-aged project. The Independent is a blended collection of 3 barrel-aged ales. It's brewed and aged at Taft Ale House in 3 Remus bourbon barrels for over 1 year with fresh vanilla beans, cacao nibs, and Colombian coffee. Weighs in at 8.7% alcohol. I'm sure Untapped probably has IBUs, if any. Well, I mean, I'm sure it will, but I had nothing listed on the bottle. If it does, I'll post it in the comments after when I upload the video. Anyway, so this was courtesy of Corey Crafts and Beer Advocate. Thank you again very much, sir. He said he had some reports that this might be turning, as in it may be infected. So wanted me to put this in the fridge and drink it ASAP. I told him I would do a review on it, so here we are. Never had anything from Taft Ale House, so looking to get into it. Hopefully it's not gone bad. It's still really, really cold. Just pulled it out, but you know, let it kind of warm up here a bit over time to see if it changes. But hopefully it's unaffected. You know, we get a good beer out of this because it sounds pretty tasty with all those flavorings. So let's get into it. And I need a bottle opener, and I do not want to pause this in case it corrupts. So anniversary is coming up, so wife bought us some glasses and some new bottle openers with our names on it. Anyway, let's crack it open. A little interesting. I can't tell off the nose yet. So pours out, you know, from the bottle. It's a bit more of a translucent brown, and the glass looks a lot darker, more of a brown black. It's got a nice light, very light mocha head. Poured pretty well, pretty big, but you know, looks nice enough for a barrel-aged ale. I don't know what the different base beers were. You know, I don't know if it's a blend of stouts or strong ales or barley wine or whatever it is, but I mean 8.7%. It's not anything too high, so yeah, who knows? But let's go ahead and check out the aroma. So it's interesting. I'm getting a big cola quality to it, you know, kind of out of brown ales or such. There's this sort of earthy, almost slightly funkiness to it. I can't tell yet if that's what it, you know, I've had a few infected beers, you know, and especially stout-like beers, you know, you kind of can tell when they're turning. You know, this year's batch of Bourbon County coffee out of bottles, the ones I got weren't too bad, but they had that sort of tart quality to it. You know, I've had some that have a lot more of a funkiness to them. It's got something a little interesting there. It's definitely not too intense. I mean, the beer's still pretty cold, but I don't know, you know, we'll have to check out the taste and really see if it's something there, if it's just more sort of placebo effect going on right now. But the pickup's like a lighter vanilla, kind of like a vanilla. I don't know. It's more of that sort of like milkier kind of vanilla. It's not like that really rich vanilla. Can't say I'm really picking up cacao nibs or coffee. Or maybe a hint of coffee. There's a bit of this roastiness too, but it's those kind of big brown, like brown ale Coca-Cola flavors that are really standing out. Not really getting bourbon. But smells pretty interesting, I guess. So let's check out the taste. Cheers. Off the bat, I can't tell. I don't really think that this beer is infected, at least this bottle. I'm not getting, if it is, it's very, very subtle. But I don't think this one is, at least from what I'm getting. I mean, I'm getting those cola notes. I'm getting a bit more vanilla. It's sort of roasty, sort of, oaky earthiness on the back end, but not really a funkiness. And it's probably just those barrels that are making that, nose a little bit different. And I don't know what the base beers are. I think if I knew, too, might explain a few things, but I'm getting sort of like that. We've had like vanilla Coke. Sort of that kind of a vanilla, the big cola notes with that sort of like more soda-like vanilla quality, I guess. I can't say that I pick out cacao nibs, really. Maybe a hint. There is more. There's like a slight cocoa kind of drying, dryness on the finish. And the coffee is, I guess, sort of like that. Is also very subtle. Now this beer is really cold, and maybe it'll come out as it warms, and I might. I'd like to pause this and sort of check up on it later on, but I don't want this video to go corrupt with the software, so I'll probably comment on it, over time if something changes or, something comes out more. The barrels, I'm getting more of the actual sort of oak on the taste as a, more so than the bourbon. I don't pick up a whole lot of bourbon. Could come out as it warms, so. But, that Coke, that like Coca-Cola vanilla, like the vanilla Coke kind of thing is really kind of the big thing. There's some roasty chocolatey notes there. But it's not like super intense on the chocolate, so far at least. The mouthfeel, the carbonation's a bit higher. It's kind of prickly, it's a little bit higher than I'd like for this style of beer. And the body's more of a, I'd say probably more of like a medium thin. Maybe more on the thinner side. There are some dark fruit components, and I'm trying to tell if this has a slight acidity to it. It almost reminds me of that slight acidity that I may have gotten off those last year's Bourbon County coffee. But at the same time, it's not the right temperature, and it could just be the dark fruit notes. Because, I was opening last year's Bourbon County bottles, which everything we got here in Texas was good. I didn't have any infected bottles, but everybody starts saying that they're infected, and you start drinking, you're like, what is this developing some sort of acidity or not? And it has that dark fruit note that kind of has that sort of fruitiness that makes you think it might be, but it really isn't. This one I can't tell yet, and I like to see where it goes when it warms up. But overall, it's very interesting. A little different. I like it though. I'd probably give it maybe a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I think it's got some good qualities. I like I do like the oakiness on it. It's not too sweet, a bit drying finish. There is some complexity there. I'd like a lot more vanilla, chocolate, and coffee, to be honest. I'd like a less carb, bigger base. So, probably rounding up to 3.75 might be more of like a 3.65 to me or so. But, it is still really cold. I might update that and change it depending on how this warms. It might be closer to a 4. Might get worse, who knows. But as of right now, where it's at, going 3.75 out of 5 stars. So that's pretty much it for Taft's Ale House, the Independent. So, but I'm going to be honest, if I had no idea that there's some bottles that may have been turning, apparently, I don't think that I would have thought about it. Now that it's in my head, or was put in my head, of course I'm searching for it, and I'm trying to find where that's at. And I can't say that it stands out enough, so even if there is something about it which I don't really think there is so far, it's not really enough to notice. So overall, pretty fine, interesting bourbon barrel aged ale. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the independent. So Taft Ale House out of Ohio. If you're up there, I guess check it out. Hopefully the rest of these bottles are okay. But thank you, and Corey. So got a few more bottles from that box at some point pretty soon. There's a few of them we'll check out. Some of the other ones that are a bit more cellarable maybe down the road. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this episode. So think global, drink local, and cheers.